Hello everyone and welcome to my Y&R Insider 24 update channel. Kyle plans major retribution in order to exact revenge. According to The Young and the Restless spoilers, Michael Mealer's Kyle Abbott will soon require vengeance, and he has at least 4 targets. Of course, everyone knows that Claire Newman, Haley Erin, has decided it was time to sleep with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, and Kyle is furious. Who will be the target of Kyle's ultimate retaliation? Novak in Holden since the beginning. Kyle has had Holden's number. Despite the fact that Claire was with Holden, Kyle was aware that he was after her. Claire did not believe Kyle when he tried to tell her this. Kyle doesn't like Holden. Having sex with Claire has eroded Kyle's trust in Holden, who he does trust. Now Kyle will do everything in his power to expose Holden. Will this really do any good? Audra Charles. Kyle is absolutely insistent that Zuleika Silva, Audra Charles, be held accountable for everything she has contributed to the conflict between him and Claire. After all, if Audra had left well enough alone, he would not have been forced to open up to Claire about what happened between him and Audra. Kyle is determined to reveal what transpired between Holden and Claire. Newman, Victor. When it comes to Claire and himself, Kyle has done everything in his power to get things back on track. Now that Victor claims to be on board with Claire and Kyle. Now Victor is about to go after Jabbo with his AI program and Kyle has been summoned home to deal with it. Will it work if Kyle helps his family fight Victor to save Jabbo? Victor does not require Jabbo, but he will also not give it to anyone who is not a Newman. Will Victor persuade Victoria Newman, played by Amelia Heinle, to take over Jabbo and eliminate it before Jack Abbott discovers what is going on and intervenes to save Jabbo before it is too late? Phyllis Summers. The AI program was stolen from Phyllis Summers, played by Michelle Stafford, who traded Victor for its use. Phyllis was to blame for Kyle and Summer Newman's, ex-Allison Lanny, marriage because she lied about his mother killing her and faking her death. Phyllis was once married to Victor's father, and she is now assisting Victor in attacking his family business. Considering that Summer still works for the company in their overseas division, Phyllis has demonstrated that she has no loyalty to anyone. Kyle certainly is not going to stand for Phyllis running the show at Jabbo. Kyle will decide to do whatever he needs to do to get rid of Phyllis Summers this time. How much will Kyle go to exact revenge? For all things Y&R, come here. Check back often for The Young and the Restless news, spoilers, and updates. Mitch's secret, Noah's confession, and Claire's aftermath. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the week of November 3rd, 2025. Noah Newman, played by Lucas Adams, is expected to talk openly about his time away from Genoa City. Josh Morrow's Nick Newman confronts Mitch Backall, also known as Matt Clark, played by Roger Howarth. Additionally, Haley Erin's Claire Grace Newman must deal with the effects of her wild night with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Noah Newman apologizes with Noah, who is still in a medically induced coma. Let's begin. However, Nick and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, are likely to rush to their son's hospital room by Tuesday. Then, anticipate Noah speaking candidly about his time away from Genoa City by Thursday. Of course, Noah might not be completely honest. It seems the young man was hiding things from his parents, which is out of character for him. Mitch Backall's secret. As for Nick, he will hear from Sharon all about running into Matt. Mitch, on the other hand, contends that Sharon has misidentified him. Sharon tells Nick about the person she is seeing. Nick decides to confront the man during the week. Sienna Backall, Tamara Braun, might become suspicious despite Mitch's assertion that he is not Matt. Additionally, it is stated that Sienna hides her activities from the police. Additionally, Victoria Newman, played by Amelia Heinle, will begin to harbor suspicions regarding Noah's mishap. Maybe Noah claims there was no one else, and he just lost control? The evidence does not support that, so who will Noah safeguard and why? The post Claire Grace Newman. According to the spoilers for The Young and the Restless for the week of November 3rd, Claire and Holden will need to talk about how they work together after their wild night. Holden will later agree to keep Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva, in the dark about something. Holden's relationship with Claire could be made more difficult by this. Melissa Thomas Scott's Nikki Newman will later become concerned about Claire's decision-making. On November 3, 2025, Weekend Edition, Peter Bergman's Jack Abbott and Susan Walters' Diane Jenkins Abbott will work together to assist Michael Mealer's Kyle Abbott. Concerning Kyle, he asks Claire questions about her time in Los Angeles. It would appear that Kyle will continue to be a significant challenge for Claire. With Billy Flynn, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, Lily loses her cool. Additionally, Eric Braden's Victor Newman plans a sneak attack on his foes. During the week of November 3, 2025, which storyline are you most excited to see? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless deep dive. Kyle plans major retaliations to get his retribution. A dangerous man for years, Kyle Abbott has lived in the shadow of family drama, corporate warfare, and romantic entanglements that have tested every fiber of his being. However, according to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Kyle is about to embark on one of the most intense and personal missions of his life, a campaign of retaliation that has the potential to completely reshape Genoa City. Kyle is prepared to confront everyone who has wronged him, motivated by betrayal, pride, and a burning desire for justice. His calm demeanor makes this version of Kyle particularly dangerous. He's no longer the impulsive young man who lashes out without thinking. This Kyle makes plans, makes calculations, and hides his rage behind a polished smile. And behind that calm exterior, his heart is consumed by the desire to reclaim what's been taken from him, his dignity, his family's legacy, and the woman he thought he loved. The betrayal that lit the fire. At the center of Kyle's rage is Claire Newman, the woman who once made him believe in love again. Despite the challenges they faced together, Kyle believed they had a genuine connection that was worth fighting for. He saw in Claire a partner who shared his sincerity and ambition. Unfortunately, Claire's decision to cross an unforgivable line shattered that illusion. Claire's decision to sleep with Holden Novak didn't just wound Kyle, it humiliated him. Genoa City isn't known for keeping secrets, and Kyle Abbott, the heir to the Jabot Empire, will soon be known to everyone. That kind of betrayal is not only painful, but it is intolerable for a man like Kyle, whose pride and image are as much a part of him as his family name. The act not only brought an end to a romance, but it also sparked a vengeance. Kyle now views vengeance as restoration rather than just retaliation. In his mind, each person who played a part in his downfall, from Holden to Audra, from Victor to Phyllis, must pay a price. And as the pieces begin to move on this chessboard of deceit, one thing becomes clear: Kyle Abbott is no longer playing defense. The Pretender's Holden Novak is the first target. Holden Novak has been a thorn in Kyle's side since the moment he arrived in Genoa City. Holden was charming, confident, and easy to talk to. He knew exactly how to get people to like him, especially Claire. From the start, Kyle sensed Holden's ulterior motives. The man's charisma and claims of sincerity did not deceive him. Kyle thought that Holden was a manipulator who used love to get what he wanted. Kyle tried to warn Claire, but she brushed off his concerns as jealousy. Not only did that dismissal make him appear paranoid, but it also demonstrated how much Claire trusted Holden. The pain gave way to pure, focused rage when Kyle later discovered that Holden had indeed seduced her. Now, Kyle will plan his vengeance carefully. In addition to destroying a rival, exposing Holden's true colors will demonstrate to Claire and everyone else that Kyle was correct all along. He will investigate Holden's past and discover any scandals or secrets he can. Kyle plans to drag the skeletons that Holden has hidden in his closet out into the open for the entire world to see. The fact that Kyle no longer cares about Claire's forgiveness is the ultimate irony. He wants Holden ruined, professionally, socially, and emotionally. And given his knowledge of Kyle, he will stop at nothing to achieve that. Audra Charles, the chaos catalyst, is the second target. Audra Charles is the fuel, and Holden is the spark. Audra has a long history of being an expert manipulator who is seductive, strategic, and completely ruthless. Her relationship with Kyle is complex. They had chemistry at one point, which was more than just flirting. It was a dangerous combination of passion and power that neither of them could fully control. But there was a cost to that entanglement. Audra's interference drove a wedge between Kyle and Claire, reigniting old insecurities and dredging up painful memories. Every time Kyle tried to move forward, Audra's shadow lingered, reminding him of his mistakes and weaknesses. To make matters worse, Audra used that past connection as leverage, twisting it to her advantage whenever she saw fit. Kyle believes Audra to be one of the primary contributors to his suffering now that Claire's betrayal has been exposed. If she hadn't meddled, he believes, things might have been different. To him, she's not just another schemer, she's the person who set this chain reaction in motion. Kyle's revenge against Audra will likely take a more psychological route. He knows that she likes to be in control and ahead of things. So he'll undermine her from the inside, chipping away at her influence, turning her allies against her, and making her question her own instincts. And when the dust settles, Kyle wants Audra to realize the truth, that she, not he, was outplayed. Target number 3, Victor Newman, the power player. Without Victor Newman, Genoa City's vengeance list would be incomplete. The legendary mogul has made an art out of manipulation, and Kyle has learned firsthand that crossing Victor rarely ends well. However, Kyle does not intend to compromise this time. Victor has made the smart business move of using his new AI program to target Jabot, the Abbott family's pride and lifeblood. His goal? To destabilize the company and eventually seize control. Victor is taking advantage of Kyle's personal turmoil and using his distraction to weaken the Abbott's defenses, which makes the situation even worse. That won't happen, according to Kyle. For all his personal flaws, his loyalty to Jabot runs deep. He grew up in that company, learned its values from his father, and understands its legacy better than most. Now, with Victor threatening to dismantle everything Jack Abbott built, Kyle's fight for revenge takes on a new dimension. It's not just personal anymore, it's war. In standing against Victor, Kyle may find himself walking a dangerous line. He will need to adopt some of the Newman patriarch's strategies, including manipulation, deception, and strategic ruthlessness, in order to defeat him. It's a change that could alter him forever. But in Kyle's mind, that's a sacrifice worth making if it means preserving his family's honor and legacy. Number 4, the betrayer in the boardroom. Phyllis Summers. Phyllis Summers is one of the names that evokes as much anger and doubt in Kyle's life as few others do. Once a friend of the family, now a perpetual source of chaos, Phyllis has proven time and again that loyalty is not in her vocabulary. Her actions have left lasting scars, not just on Kyle, but on everyone connected to her. Kyle's marriage to Summer Newman fell apart because Phyllis lied about her death. She concocted lies that shattered families and created divisions that may never be fully resolved. Now, her latest plan calls for her to work with Victor to use the stolen AI program against Jabot, which Kyle considers to be a form of betrayal. Due to Phyllis's relationship with his father, Jack Abbott, this betrayal is especially devastating. The full extent of her opportunism is demonstrated by her willingness to rebel against the family that once accepted her. To Kyle, Phyllis is the embodiment of everything wrong in Genoa City, selfish ambition masked by feigned sincerity. Both personally and professionally, Kyle will exact revenge on Phyllis. He wants to strip her of credibility, dismantle her alliances, and make her face the consequences of her schemes. Kyle is determined to ensure that Phyllis Summers finally pays for her sins, whether that means exposing her crimes or using her own manipulations against her. The line between justice and obsession. As Kyle's revenge plot unfolds, one question looms: how far will he go? Genoa City has seen its fair share of resentments, but Kyle's situation is unique because it combines personal pain with corporate conflict. Each act of revenge he contemplates risks pulling him deeper into the same moral gray area occupied by the very people he despises. There's a growing danger that Kyle's quest for payback could consume him. He might forget who he is if he tries to punish those who hurt him, a pattern that many Abbotts before him followed. His father, Jack, has fought similar battles against Victor and Phyllis, often at the expense of his own peace of mind. Kyle now stands at a similar crossroads. Will he find redemption through revenge, or will it destroy him? Claire Newman's role in the fallout. Despite the fact that Claire is not the primary target of Kyle's retaliation, she is without a doubt the catalyst. Her betrayal is the emotional core of his anger, the wound that refuses to heal. Yet deep down, Kyle still struggles with conflicting emotions. Part of him wants to hate her, but another part longs for the woman he once loved. Claire's decision to sleep with Holden wasn't just a moment of weakness, it was a turning point that shattered multiple relationships. Not only will Kyle's actions have an impact on her, but so will her own family, including Victor and Victoria Newman. The ripples of this affair will extend far beyond the personal, they'll influence alliances, business decisions, and the delicate balance of power in Genoa City. It could result in some of the most explosive confrontations the show has seen in years if Kyle decides to confront Claire directly. The emotional weight of that encounter, anger, heartbreak, regret, could redefine both characters' arcs moving forward. Jabot in peril, the business frontline. While Kyle's personal vendettas rage on, Jabot stands as both battleground and prize. With Victor Newman scheming to take over the company through his AI venture, and Phyllis assisting him behind the scenes, the Abbotts are under siege. For Kyle, defending Jabot isn't just about protecting his family's business, it's about proving his worth. The company has always represented legacy, continuity, and the power of family resilience. If Victor succeeds, it would be more than a financial loss, it would be an existential blow to the Abbott name. Kyle is aware that rescuing Jabot could also make him look good to his family, especially to Jack, whose trust he has earned and lost over the years. This subplot intertwines beautifully with Kyle's revenge arc. His fight against external enemies mirrors his internal struggle for control and purpose. The battle for Jabot becomes a metaphor for Kyle's fight for identity. Can he remain true to his principles while playing a game that demands deceit? The price of retribution. There is always a price to pay for retaliation, and Kyle will soon discover that retaliation rarely comes to a happy conclusion. He runs the risk of alienating those who still care for him if he pursues justice against Holden, Audra, Victor, and Phyllis. He'll worry that his obsession is leading him down a dark path, especially Jack and Diane. There's also the possibility that some of Kyle's actions could backfire. Victor is nearly untouchable, Audra is a master manipulator, and Phyllis is capable of surviving even her worst mistakes. Kyle might be in danger if he takes on all of them at once. One misstep, and the hunter could become the hunted.